Hi guys. Okay. So what am I going to talk about now? I often hear people say that they want multiple forms of revenue, and I would be the first one to say, hell yes. You need to be thinking that way. Gone are the days where somebody tells you, you have this one job, you stick to this one job, you stick to this one paycheck, and that paycheck is expected to last. Times have changed. Things are moving very fast. Inflation is a real thing. Expenses are a real thing. If you have kids who are ambitious, like these little suckers, I have one, so I think I can call them suckers if I want. They want to do gymnastics and ballroom dancing and swimming and piano and ballet. Listen, you need to have multiple forms of revenue, okay? I don't care how big your check is. And if you look at even some of the richest people in the world, they are not relying on one stream of revenue. Not one. We saw the news about Serena, we see Rihanna, we see Beyonce, we see all of these people. They're not relying on this one thing that they do. They're all diversifying because this is a real thing. You understand? So if you're not thinking of, having multiple forms of revenue, I think you should start. Well, that's just a very humble suggestion of mine. So here's the thing. People go, well, it's so hard. And I'm just like, that's a cop out. That's a cop out. Here's the scene. One, it's so much easier for you to connect with people. It doesn't even have to be local. It can be regional. It can be international. Because of technology, people are offering services. They are offering products. They're rendering everything across platforms. People are discovering people with talents because of connections and platforms like your LinkedIn and your Instagram and your Twitter. Businesses are being started because of that. I mean, true story. I know a guy who's a photographer. Amazing photographer, right? He puts out on Twitter one day, hey guys, I've been thinking about these little things. So he writes down these cute little phrases. You have the key to my heart. Signed, corned beef. Hilarious. Well, for those of us who are West Indians, we probably find that hella funny. And he said, I've been thinking about these little quips over the years, and I think, what will you guys think? He put this out on Twitter. I saw it, I answered back and I said, this is great. This is so awesome. It resonates with a community. I would totally buy that if it was on a shirt. So then he came back with another question and said, well, what would you guys buy this on? A shirt, a tote, a towel? Like, he kind of called out 4 different products. All of us came back and basically said the shirt. I kid you not. In 48 hours, this guy who was a photographer / videographer was now selling shirts. I got one in black, one in white, because it has different quips. And I got 2 things, and that was in 48 hours. He hand delivered it himself. He now has a full-fledged business. Multiple streams of revenue. He hasn't stopped being a photographer or videographer. But he also has his, Loving Coconuts. Right? That's a perfect example. The thing is, don't expect your potential customers to know your talent or to know your gift if you're not putting it out there. That's your responsibility. And I'm not saying if he had handled that differently and said, yo, buy a shirt from me, we would have been like, okay, dog, okay, calm down. But what he did was he kind of tested the water. He kind of put his product on display, even though it wasn't an official product yet. He got feedback and he realized, oh, there is actually a need for this. So if you are a chartered accountant and you're also a bomb-ass graphic designer, every time I go to your page, real and truly just pretty pictures with you, at some conference or whatever, or attending something on behalf of your company, or you're wearing your shirt with a logo for your company. And there's nothing that even remotely suggests that, hey, I actually made the brochures for this conference. I made this menu for my bosses. No, I'm just like, wait, you do graphic as well? All of a sudden, people might be linking, saying, hey, what's your fee structure to create this? If you don't put it out there, nobody's going to know. Another thing, in the industry that you work in, let's say that you love that industry and you can offer a service there. Are you jumping on your page and giving tips and advice? Like, if I'm a chartered accountant, there must be things that I see people doing wrong every single day. Am I jumping on and saying, guys, here are my top 5 things that you guys always do, or here's my tip for so and so and so? All of a sudden, you might be asked to come and consult. I mean, assuming that this is not a conflict of interest with your 9 to 5 or whatever job you may already hold. You know, you always have to be ethical in dealing with multiple streams of revenue, as long as there's no conflict of interest. But people might be calling you to consult. People might not be calling you to sit on panels for panel discussions. Some people might want to fly you across to Dubai. This is a real thing. To be a keynote speaker, to speak about, financial freedom or whatever the hell you want to talk about. But if you do not put it out there, nobody is going to know. I am a host. That is my core function. Most people, when they're thinking about a host, an MC, a compere, a moderator, chances are my name is going to come up in that discussion. You know where my name also comes up? Workshops, keynotes, panel discussions. And the only reason why people can call me and say those things or ask me to render that particular service, even though it's not a service I go out of my way to sell, is because they see videos. They see me speaking about a particular topic. It resonates in a certain way and they go, you'd be of great service to us. So, yes, think about multiple streams of income. But 2, think about how it is you're putting it out there and how you are informing or advising your potential customer base that this is a service you can offer. And lastly, do not hard sell us. Don't. Please don't. Show us what you do and make us just come to you. I promise you, we will come to you.